Today on TimesCast, two of Colonel Qaddafi's top advisors defect to Britain and Egypt.
I think it does show a huge amount of decay, distrust, and breakdown at the heart of the Qaddafi regime.
And in Washington, Defense Secretary Robert Gates reaffirms the limited scope of America's role in the Libyan conflict.
There will be no boots on the ground.
I'm David Kirkpatrick reporting from Tripoli for the New York Times. Today, the city is reeling from the news that Foreign Minister Moussa Koussa, one of the top government officials and a longtime confidant of Colonel Qaddafi, has defected. He apparently left the country for Tunisia, saying he just needed a little medical attention.
He is a very ill person.
And instead flew to London, where he is now in talks with the British government.
We understand now that he resigned from his position.
Mr. Koussa is an enormously powerful figure here. He is known as the envoy of death because of his former work as the head of the Libyan spy service when he was involved in the assassinations of Libyan defectors living abroad. Interestingly, he is now one such Libyan defector. He's believed to have played a role in the bombing of Pan Am 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland. The news of his departure has really rocked the city. The city is coursing with rumors of other people who might be departing. One gentleman, Ali Al-Triki, he previously served as foreign minister and also as Libyan envoy to the United Nations, is now said by his nephew to have already defected to Cairo. No word today on his whereabouts or the whereabouts of the Qaddafi family, but a government spokesman assures me they're all still in the country.
Deposing the Qaddafi regime, as welcome as that eventuality would be, is not part of the military mission. In my view, the removal of Colonel Qaddafi will likely be achieved over time through political and economic measures and by his own people.
Today, the Defense Secretary, Robert Gates, was under fire from a lot of members of the House Armed Services Committee, and he said very clearly, very candidly, not while I'm in the job will there be U.S. boots on the ground. Now, he did not address the reports in our newspaper this morning about the CIA operatives undercover on the ground trying to meet with the rebels.
When your military and political goals are not harmonized, you really run the risk of strategic failure or having to go back on your promises.
Both Democrats and Republicans on the panel were concerned about how this will end, and also about what they described as the disconnect between the military mission and the political mission. And the members of the committee kept asking, how can you say these are separate? Doesn't this end in a stalemate, that we can complete the military mission, but Qaddafi remains in power? Then what? That was I would say, their chief concern. Their secondary concern, although it was they were quite angry about this, was that they felt they had not been consulted by the White House before the president undertook the military action.
The administration has complied with the elements of the War Powers Act that involve consultation and notification.
So if the Congress votes to not authorize, will the administration cease operations?
I don't know the answer to that because I don't know the legal case.
Well, clearly, this is a question that the American people need an answer to.
Both Admiral Mullen, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and Robert Gates were very circumspect about arming the rebels. They made it clear that if anybody does this, it's not going to be the United States, at least as far as they're concerned.
What the opposition needs as much as anything right now is some training, some command and control, and some organization.